Hello and welcome to the AFL Auto Blenders 3D car creation channel. This is the next in the Blender 2.92 tutorial series on the 1905 Star Gordon Bennett racing car. In this episode I want to, if we look at this image here, I want to create this bracket. I also have been looking at the radiator surround and I haven't put a ledge in yet, and also this dimension from here to here is too thick, so we're gonna make that smaller and put the ledge in, which goes to the bottom of the frame. So we'll create the brackets and the bolts that hold the brackets in. So let's get into it. Move that across. All we need for this is this and this plate here for now. Well, I'll choose a chassis as well. Then press / and go into local view. Okay, so here we are. So we need to grab some vertices from here. I didn't want that actually, right. Let's go back again. It's this I want. So click that, we don't want that. Right, so here we go, let's start again. That, and that. Now / right, got what I want now. Okay, so we choose this one, tab into edit mode and click on this up here. We don't want the spin tool on. Okay, so making sure that all the subdivision surface is off and everything. Let's go into it. So go into face select mode and I want that. Then press shift and control and that. Okay, so we've got those vertices. What we do now is press shift and D to duplicate it, press return, tab out, back a bit, let's go back. Right, P to separate selection. Okay, now tab out, grab that new object that we've created, go into front view, Z, wireframe mode, and there it is. Tab into, well no, we don't need to do that now. Press G and then the right arrow, press it a couple of times just to bring it out. Okay, now tap into it and then press A to get into vertex select mode. Now, so we go in vertex select mode. We don't want this loop cut here. So tab, so press Alt and highlight that line. Press X and dissolve the edge. Press Alt and get that line. Go into front view. Now that's sitting below the plate by the looks of it, so just going to drag that up so it's just slightly above. Then press E. I'm going to top view. Press E and X and drag it out here. Now we don't want it all the way across, so to about here. And then once again press the B, range select, highlight these and just drag them up so it's sitting just inside the edge. Okay, so that's where we are with it. So press A to get everything, press tab to go into object mode, get rid of the subdivision, and now we're going to add a solidify modifier, and we want this to be about 10 millimeters thick. So let's add in a solidify modifier with 10mm in view, and that is 0.01 is 10mm. But if you notice, if we go into solid view, it sits inside. So what we need to do is click in here and press minus 0.001, sorry, and there it is, it sits outside. Let's now apply the solidify modifier so we can use the vertices. So apply. Right, now tab into edit mode. Now if we look at this, you can see it's solidified properly here, but it's dragged the vertices in here, and it's also put this on a bit of a tilt. So what I'm going to do is press Alt and select that line, select one of these at the top, any one. Okay, make sure that the active element is on. Okay, go into front view and press, now we don't want that, so we don't want the whole loop cut, so let's do this again. So here to here, and then choose this one at the top. Okay, then press SZ 0. Ooh, wrong one. So press return. Let's just, right, so we want SX 0 because we want it to be level in that plane. So SX 0. Okay, that brings it to there. Go into front view again, highlight this edge loop here, the top edge loop, so this one, click that, one of these, and press SZ 0. So we've got our basic shape. Now there's a rib in the middle of the bracket, so if you look here, there's a rib here. Okay, so what we want to do is grab these two, and that looks a bit thick, so what I'm going to do is make sure that we're in bounding box here, and I'm going to press SY, so scale it in the Y axis and bring it into around about there. Okay, now we're going to go into face select mode and select just these two faces and press X and delete those faces. Okay, so now we're going to face this this section up. So what we'll do is go into vertex select mode, choose these two and these two, and press F. So that's the start of it. Now we need to face up both sides. So choose this one, and this one, and press F. Move around to the other side, choose this one, and this one, and press F. So there we have our bracket. So if we put subsurf on now, you can see it's all over the place. Now, rather than, so turn subsurf off again. Right, okay. Oh, that's, took that out. Right, okay, so rather than put loads of loop cuts in, and when we sort of render this, the loop cuts will probably show up as lines. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is click the subdivision. I'm going to click this little button down here, this little green triangle, which is the, always forget what it is, object data properties. Okay, look for, under normals, click normals and choose auto smooth. I don't think we need a subdivision on it, so let's take that off. Okay, so press tab into edit mode, and look, there we are, we've got good sharp lines. If we didn't have that on, it would look something like that. So as you can see, if we applied a render or a met cap or something like that. So if we put a met cap on here and choose the most reflective one, which is that, as you can see it's not very good, so you get rid of that usually by applying edge loops. Okay, but we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is here, click in the orange little box and click auto smooth, and there we go. So there we've got a nice bracket with really sharp edges, which is pretty much like that. Now this line here, so let's get rid of the met cap because that just confuses. So get rid of the met cap, go back into studio color. Okay, now as you can see there's a bit of a slope to the top, so we're going to do that by this and just eyeball it as to how you actually want it. There's also a bit of a curve there, but I'm not too worried about that. We could bevel that edge. To achieve that, let's see what happens if I do that. So click that. So Control B and bevel it. And let's see what that brings. Tab. Yeah, we'd need to put a subdivision surface in for that, which I don't really want to do, because if you do that it's all over the place and you have to put edge loops in. So for now I'm going to leave that, I think, or I could add a loop cut in here. And then B, let's have a look, see what happens. So take that in a bit, take it in a little bit, and then down a little bit. There we go. That's something like, yeah, that's something like it, so I'm not too fussed about that. Now, to add bolts, we could go into Bolt Factory, but I don't particularly want to do that. Let's have a look. So tab into edit mode. We want one in the middle here. That's a good starting point. So if I press Shift, get my cursor on that line, press Shift and right, that puts the cursor right in the center there. So press Shift and A and add a mesh circle, but immediately we come down to here, and we'll put in 6 vertices because we want a hexagon shape. Okay, so put 6 in there. We need to obviously scale this down, so scale it down, scale it all the way down, and it's in the wrong orientation as well. So scale it right down. Now zoom in and go in for a better. So look, so I think about there. So go into front view, rotate it by 90, so press R and 90, okay, and then that should put it roughly on line there. But what I want to do is to make sure that, so click this little arrow here to the snapping tool, click on face, make sure that it projects, make sure that that is ticked, okay. Go back to side view and press G, Control, hold the Control key down, and while you're holding the Control key down, press Enter. Now that will put it directly on that face, okay. So before we forget, let's put it back to increment. Okay, so now we want to extrude our bolt, so E and X, and extrude it out to about there. Press F to fill in the bolt. Okay, go back into front view and press I to indent it. Okay, and then take this loop cut, because it's about the right thickness, and just drag that back a bit so we've got an angle. Normally this would be a circle in the centre. I'm not sure, I'll try loop tools, but I'm not sure if it will work on this. So loop tools, circle, no, it doesn't work. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. It's good enough. It's good enough detail. Okay, so that's that. So now all we do is click click into there and hover over that and press L, and that will select just those vertices. Go into side view and we're going to position these, so Shift and D and then Z. Position these to nearer the top, so say there, and Shift and D, Z, what am I doing? Right, Shift and D, Z, and bring this one down on the Z axis to about there. Now, to mirror it on the other side, you could put a mirror in, but this is an easy way. So press L, hover over that, press L, hover over that, press L, hover over that, press L. Now press Shift and D and Y, and then move these over until they're in the centre there. Now we've got a bigger bolt on the bottom, so what we'll do is to highlight both of these bottom ones, so L, and move across to this one and press L, press Shift and D to duplicate it, and then X to move it away. Okay, now we need to go into front view and press R, I think it's -90, yeah, -90, and move these down until they're sitting on the there. Okay, so go into top view. Now these are quite small, so I'm going to put them in the middle. Just going to eyeball it up with that, and I'm going to scale it up. So scale, make sure we're in bounding box. We are right. Okay, so L, let's go L, and then delete that one, X, delete vertices. So we'll choose this one, L, and scale to about there. Control D to duplicate it, and Y to move it in the Y axis, and just take it up to there. Okay, so there we are. That's our bracket. And if you want to, that doesn't look thick enough, does it? You can go through and just add a bit more thickness in, so I'm going to do that. So press L, and I'm going to scale it in the Z, so SZ, and just scale it up. Okay, so that's better. Then you could do the same for all of these. So press L on all of these, press L, and again, and again, and again. And then just scale it in the x-axis just a little bit. So SX, just pull it out a little bit. Okay, so there we are. So if we go into object mode, there we are. That's our bracket with our bolts. And these do look a bit small, so we can scale those up as well. But anyway, that's enough for this episode. I will do the radiator surround in the next episode, which will be fairly quick. Okay. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.